LeBron James and Ty Lue. No love lost between those two as LeBron has gone to the Los Angeles Lakers. They shared a moment at the Las Vegas Summer League. Welcome to NBA Game Time. Chris Miles here with you and David Griffin to my side. Let's get this thing going. Look, a few minutes we're going to break down your favorite Summer League moves and what they mean and how you advance as a GM. But let's start with some quarterfinals action from Las Vegas. Pistons and Lakers. LeBron James in the building, looking very focused to see what that guy has. Josh Hart. Hey, if you had to give out a Las Vegas Summer League MVP right now, he's getting it, right?
I'm giving it to Josh Hart. He's scoring 22 a game coming into this one tonight and leading a team on both sides of the floor that is winning every moment he's on the floor.
Well, Hart showing a lot of heart. You saw him getting worked on before the game, finishing through some contact. Henry Ellenson, a guy that when you become a veteran, you look comfortable in Summer League. 22 points for him, having a great Summer League.
Well, and Henry needed to get comfortable at the speed of the game. He's still not really efficient. I think he was shooting 38% coming into tonight, but he's getting better about taking his opportunities when they're there offensively and finding a feel for the speed of the game.
That was Svi Mykhailiuk, the second rounder that's a steal in this draft, and LeBron loving the buzzer beater from Alex Caruso as well. Second half, more Josh Hart in takeover mode. Nowhere to go, but he makes it happen.
He literally looks like he's at a totally different level than the vast majority of the guys he's playing against in Summer League. He's so advanced, and he was coming in. He's a winner. He's a champion from Villanova, a senior. So he came in more advanced, and now he's got a year under his belt with the Lakers, and it shows.
And Svi Mykhailiuk as well, looking good. I mean, we saw him make several plays when you get a guy in the second round. Look, Josh Hart certainly excited to have LeBron James show up to the Las Vegas Summer League. Is there value for the younger players like Hart? Brandon Ingram was also there just to have that connection with LeBron when you go into Summer League.
Yeah, I think it's really meaningful for your young guys to get an opportunity to be around LeBron, for him to share with them what he anticipates from them, what he's excited about in each of their games. LeBron is above all things a worker. He is obsessed with getting better in the offseason, and he's going to bring those young kids into the fold. And so this was a good opportunity for them to spend some face time with one another, and a really good opportunity for all of us to see my man Robert Brown up close and personal.
There has been a lot of smoke about what else the Lakers can do in this offseason, potentially bringing in Kawhi Leonard. Okay, what's the timetable you foresee with that, and what's going on in that situation in San Antonio?
Well, I think there's a few different things going on. One, San Antonio clearly doesn't want to send Kawhi within the conference. It would not be something they would choose to do. So in the absence of a bigger, better offer, they may have to do that. But I think one of the things that's really at play here is Kawhi wasn't healthy. He had an injury that didn't have a very clear timetable associated with it because he didn't have surgery. Then at least one medical team said he was healthy and he wasn't comfortable. It makes it very difficult for a team like Philadelphia or the Lakers or Boston to put the kind of Godfather offer on the table that it's going to take to pry him out of San Antonio unless you do know he's healthy. So some people have talked about the potential for the USA basketball date, July 25th, where you'll get to see Kawhi in theory prove he's healthy. San Antonio's 21 straight years of absolutely not panicking and of not giving in to any of the noise around that team. You may see this drag into training camp itself. And I think they will be comfortable in that space. And Kawhi is the kind of player and winner that will also do what he needs to do.
So now that we understand San Antonio's side of things, if you are the Lakers or another team, because you've been in that target acquisition mode, okay? You brought in Kevin Love to the Cleveland Cavaliers. If you're trying to get Kawhi Leonard right now, what's your mindset?
Well, again, you're very concerned about the health. You're also concerned about your long-term ability to sign him. And I think what you're relying very heavily upon is the model that Sam Presti laid out for everyone when he acquired Paul George. Paul had been very vocal about intending to go to Los Angeles at the end of this contract because Kawhi similarly has the ability to opt out. If you acquire him, you're going to be really concerned that your culture and your environment can embrace him and make him feel as much a part of the family as Sam and the Oklahoma City Thunder were were able to do with Paul. It's very, very critical that if you acquire him, you make everything about securing him long term. And again, you're going to give up more or less based on your ability to do that in your own mind.
Jabari Parker, 2-year, $40 million deal, team option for that second year for the Chicago Bulls. Does this help them get better, especially with their issues defensively last year?
Well, I certainly don't think it's going to address any of the holes in their defensive situation. And when you looked at their defensive rating last year, it was obviously an area where they struggled. They're going to ask Jabari apparently to play some three, which was his much less efficient position on the floor, particularly on the defensive end. He's challenged to keep even facing fours in front of him, so a three-man could be really difficult for him. You see the numbers there in terms of defensive rating. So this doesn't address that. This also, to some degree, concerns me a little bit just in terms of opportunity cost. When you put $20 million into that situation, it meant they had to renounce David Nwaba, who does have a dirt-working, overachieving defensive ethos that you would like to have.
And it's something that team needs.
You'd like to have that, and they may be able to get him back anyway, but they had to renounce him to make this happen. But because they took $20 million onto their books, they now don't have the ability to be the last man standing when some of these tax teams that will be urgent to get rid of money come trade deadline are going to be doing that. So what you really have to do is compare Jabari Parker to the absence of Jabari Parker and the potential draft picks they could have gotten for that money.
Well, you're the brains of this operation, so we're going to pick you a lot more for the rest of the show. We're just getting started on Game Time. Coming up, Griff will scout the Summer League and tell us what GMs are looking for this time of year. Elena Deladon reached a milestone in the WNBA on Sunday, plus more highlights from the Vegas Summer League coming your way. Seven-footer that does a lot for Portland.
The Dark Knight can finish with either hand. Really, really like the look with the black mask, by the way. But can play inside, can play outside. He's a guy that Neil O'Shea and his staff are really counting on heavily. Somebody who's going to get an opportunity to play a significant role with the Blazers, as is this young man,
Wade Baldwin as well.
Somebody who defensively has an opportunity to be a really good fit with Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. Somebody that they let Shabazz Napier go in large part because they believed in Wade. Now, part of it's because he was cheaper, and as a tax team, they needed that. But Wade has incredible upside and is important for that team moving forward.
Showing some of that upside on the fast break with the finish. Archie Goodwin becomes the all-time leading scorer in Las Vegas Summer League history right here. 343 career points. Goodwin with 13, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. Portland gets the win at 95-80. Raptors, Cleveland, Collins, Sexton, the 8th pick in the draft. Oh, man, he does a lot of things. You see him get the rebound, get to the other end, and finds a way to finish around the basket. Now, this is a key part of the game right here for Sexton. Gets poked in the eye, but he's tough.
He's going to keep competing. You know, Avery Johnson sat with us at the draft when we did our coverage of that and talked a great deal about Colin as a competitor, as a leader, as the kind of kid you want in your locker room, and he has translated all of that to Summer League for Cleveland.
Comes back into the game in the third quarter after not starting the second half, finds John Holland, who had 23 points. Then Sexton, again, when you see him score, it's just different ways he's getting the job done.
One of the things I love about this highlight package, too, is he's playing at different speeds, even in this package. He can change gears. He can play fast. He can play slow. He's really starting to grow and evolve. It's crazy to say this in the span of a summer league, but just from the time they got there till now, he's being better about making plays for other people as well.
So the Cavaliers get the win. And they will face the Lakers in the semifinals in the Las Vegas Summer League. Sexton again, 18 points, 6 assists, a big part of that as well. Look, the highlights are fun to see former college players like Sexton be able to showcase their skills at the NBA level. But, Griff, it's all business for guys like you, not so much fun. Give us some insight, the top 5 things you're looking for when you go to the Summer League in Las Vegas.
Well, first of all, our meal expense report would question that, by the way. It's a great place to eat. But when you're in the gym, there's some things you really want to look at. And the first of them is what role are they playing relative to the role they're going to play for varsity? You want to perform well within that role. Colin Sexton's a great example. He's a kid who needs to be a ball-dominant play creator. He's going to need to defend and get after it. Ty Lue may even ask him to play 94 feet when he's on the court. And you saw him compete at that level. You saw him absolutely lead the team with the ball in his hand in a team that loses LeBron James, who was really the only playmaker they had in terms of ball dominance. It's going to be important for Colin to be able to play that role, and he did it very well this summer.
We know the offensive packages that a lot of these rookies have coming in, but defensively, it's hard to determine what they can bring to the NBA level. What are you looking for in Summer League for those guys there?
Well, it's a little different now because not being with a team, I have the luxury of getting to spend more time watching all of the young rookies. But one thing you really want to be aware of is their defensive awareness of these true rookies when they come in. Now, we're going to put together a little package here that's going to do them a great favor and make it look like they are all very keyed in on that side of the ball. But this is where their exposure really is going to be initially. In the case of Bagley, they played zone at Duke quite a bit. He's going to be learning an entirely different skill set. You're looking at Ayton, who does not have natural paint dominance. Trae Young, who's really going to struggle to keep guys in front of him. And so you want to see how they grow and involved in that in the summer.
Those names that you just mentioned, Marvin Bagley, Colin Sexton, DeAndre Ayton, Trae Young, we know who they are. But it's the undrafted guy that truly can be a gem when you get to this part of the year.
Well, one of the most important people we had in Cleveland in free agency was an undrafted player, Matthew Dellavedova. Chris Grant made a great read on that. We brought him into Summer League, and he started to really sort of break down any kind of notion you had that he wasn't going to be good enough. And Fred VanVleet is another one of these kids. Fred came in, this is 2016 Summer League, very much foreshadowing of who he would become this year on that bench mob, the most dominant bench group in the NBA, in very large part due to Fred VanVleet. He did a lot of these same things that you just saw here with the varsity, and actually did a lot of them with Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan on the court. It was probably a huge absence for them when they were trying to beat the Cavaliers in the playoffs.
Rookies tend to be very inconsistent in the Summer League, right? You get 20 points one game, then 2 points another, but you hope for second-year players that's different. What are you expecting from them when you get to this time of year?
Yeah, they really need to stand out, and in some cases because they're trying to earn a job, and in some cases because they have a job and you've invested very highly in them, and you want to make sure they were worth that pick. One of these guys that we're looking at now is Devin Robinson. Devin was an undrafted player. Devin's a kid who is absolutely figuring out now how to translate his length and athleticism in the game. Had a fantastic summer league for the Wizards, and is somebody I think you're going to see a great deal of. Then you got Josh Hart, 30th pick in the draft, somebody who absolutely, in my opinion, would have been MVP of summer league had we voted coming into tonight. Makes plays on both sides of the court. And Shaquille Harrison is a guy that I really came to enjoy in Vegas. He's a player who can play both guard spots. He really was leading their team as a point guard. Came in at the end of last season from their G League team in Northern Arizona, starts the very last game of the season, gets 18 and 10, and just built on that through all of Summer League. Shooting the ball very well, can be menacing defensively in multiple positions. The way the game is played now, Shaquille's going to get a chance to prove what he cannot do, because he's a very critical piece, particularly if they don't acquire a starting point guard. Of all of the players that I saw that were really trying to earn a job, Shaquille might be in the best position in terms of what his skill set is and what his team needs.
Sometimes it's just about being in a position where you get the opportunity. Speaking of which, everyone wants to be a head coach when you're in the coaching ranks, right? In the Summer League, a lot of guys or people, because Becky Hammon as well, getting the opportunity to showcase their talent and lead a group.
Yeah, so Becky Hammon was somebody that many of us in the NBA side of things knew very well, but I think the public really didn't know terribly well. And then she led San Antonio's team to the Summer League Championship, and she sort of burst into everyone's public consciousness, but somebody we were paying a great deal of attention to start with. You saw Willie Green there. Willie is a guy that Golden State's very high on. The rest of the league was paying a lot of attention to. James Borrego, who's now in Charlotte, got an opportunity to be a Summer League head coach, and you got to see what he was all about there. Caleb Canellis is another guy who really thrived in Summer League, got an opportunity to be an interim head coach. And It's very important for guys to get that opportunity. You see men, you see women that are getting this chance and making the best of it. And it translates. And it's a meaningful thing because hiring a coach, I believe, is the hardest thing we do in the league.
There's a GM term, an oxymoron that you use. In this context, it works. Negative positives. Explain how that pertains to Summer League.
Well, a great example, and this is a mistake that I made, quite frankly, in Cleveland, and I don't think at the time we really understood the degree to which this was going to be detrimental for Jordan. You're going to see a highlight package here, and you see the numbers. Jordan dominated the 2016 Summer League for us. He was a ball-dominant play creator that could lead the team in scoring. He could make plays for other people. He could score in a variety of different ways. But because we made him so vocal and so ball-dominant, we actually took him very far afield of what he was going to do with the varsity. When you've got LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, what he needs to learn how to do is stand off onto the side and be that swing, secondary or tertiary third playmaker. And we didn't give him that opportunity, and it really set him back.
Sorry, Jordan McRae, for being our example for negative positives, positive negatives. There we go. Coming up next, Candace Parker providing a spark for her team in L.A. But was it enough for the win? We'll find out next. You're watching NBA. Heard Elena Delle Donne's pretty good, Griff.
She is not so bad at the basketball. A little bit of a modern Lauren Jackson, as it were.
Well, she becomes the fastest WNBA player to reach 3,000 career points. She did it in just 148 games.
If that does anything for you. Does it inside, does it outside. Legit 6'6", handles the ball. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just the full package. How about that pass? Tiffany Hayes finds Renee Montgomery. And that's JaVale McGee there to check out his sister, Amani McGee Stafford, who plays for the Atlanta Dream. But it's Elena Delle Donne who's delivering 23 points, 11 rebounds, but don't overlook Brittany Sykes. 17 points, 6 rebounds. She led the charge. Dream come out on top, 80-77.
Doing her best Jamal Crawford does. Come off the bench and light it up.
Phoenix Mercury versus the Indiana Fever. Brittany Griner scored 20 for Phoenix last time they faced Indiana. You talk about a force inside. She's going to work early.
Almost not fair when you watch her play. What'd she throw up today? 36 and 12, I think. But literally can do anything she wants to do in the paint and can be truly dominant. And you mentioned this earlier off the air. You always expect a little bit more from her. She had 36 and 12 tonight, and you still expect more.
Because she's so dominant. Candace Dupree, season high 23 for her. You saw her getting that bucket. Diana Taurasi, talk about expectations. The all-time leading scorer in the WNBA, and that gets everyone else fired up. Luana Bonner from outside, then Griner inside. Like you said, 36 and 12. Phoenix gets the win, 101-82. LA Sparks versus the Las Vegas Aces. Candace Parker, we know what she can do from outside. You can't leave her open. Come on now.
She's going to throw in a little plus 29 effort tonight. 34, 11, and 9.
Just another day at the office.
Just missed the triple-double, or the Russell Westbrook, as we like to call it, by 1 in each of the last 3 games.
Someone else you need to pay attention to, especially when it gets to the fourth quarter, Asia Wilson, the rookie, the national champion. 15 points from her going to the left there. Naka Nguke also finished with 15. Just a beautiful move to the basket, cutting without the ball. Chelsea Gray from outside. Full team effort. But, you know, when someone misses, you need Candace Parker to clean it up down there. And that's what she does. Like you said, what's that stat line again for Candace?
What's she going to throw up today? Where is it? Where is it?
34, 11, and 9. Sparks get the win, 99-78. The Connecticut Sun versus the Minnesota Lynx and Maya Moore. She just has the full repertoire. Pulls back for the jumper. H.O. Banham from outside. And she's back at it again.
Bang! From way downtown.
The Sun ahead, 31-24. Jasmine Thomas playing some defense. You love the passing lanes when they're played. Finishing with the left, fundamentally sound.
This game was played at a pace that you like a little bit too. They were absolutely capitalizing, counter-punching, and transition.
You know who liked the pace? Morgan Tuck, because this becomes her personal highlight. You see her moving out the ball, sets the screen, steps into the right place.
When you've got that kind of length and can make shots like that, it's going to be easy to continue to get them off as well, and that's a really important characteristic.
Connecticut gets the win, 83-64 on Wednesday. More fever for the flavor. Indiana Fever versus the Minnesota Lynx. Tip-off at 1 o'clock. Triple J time coming up. Jaren Jackson Jr. will explain next on NBA Game Time. Cavs, the Lakers at 8:30. Grizzlies, Trailblazers at 10:30. Memphis facing Philadelphia, 4th-round pick. Jaren Jackson looking very much like that. You see him on offense here. But it's the defense where he had his own block party, Griff.
Just a baby, such a young kid, just really growing into his body. But his shot blocking timing is so natural.
Yeah, 18 years young. 0.7 is what we're calling that, right?
18.7 years of age.
4 blocks in this game, 7 in the previous game, just racking them up. Brandon Goodwin, like, okay, you provide the defense, I'll provide some offense. 21 and 3 for him. DJ Stevens cleaning up the mess off the Kobe Simmons miss. Memphis advances 82-73. Griff, Jaren Jackson, just an amazing player. Amazing show with you so far. It's been real, my friend. Chris Miles, David Griffin. In case you missed anything, we're running it back, so pay attention, okay? Learn something.